Okay. And action. I'm with Dave Morales. Nice to meet you, Dave. How are you doing today?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Enjoying this nice Cleveland weather.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Nice. At least it's not snowing.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we could appreciate that.
That is true. That is true. Not too bad.
Dave Morales here is a freelance writer in a broadcasting major at Lorain County Community College.
Yes.
But we like to call him the sports guru.
Oh. Thank you.
He knows his sports, Cleveland sports, any sport, and that's what we're here today to discuss.
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
I'm no Chris Smith.
Do you mind if we talk about a little bit about Cleveland sports? Get your intake on that?
No, I'm up for it.
Okay, great.
That's what I do when I wake up.
Great. Let's start off with the Browns, since they're the hot team right now.
Okay.
Just had a game yesterday, didn't do so well.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like they're kind of up in the air and kind of slipping down.
From an outside perspective, you would think that the Browns are falling apart, being at 7-6 now with so much going on in the AFC picture right now. The Browns are in a very hard conference.
Yeah, exactly.
The AFC North. Every team in there has a winning division. It's actually the hardest division in the NFL right now.
Is it? Yeah.
And from an outside perspective, you would probably think that the Browns are probably not looking so hot with the quarterback controversy going on and so many injuries going on throughout the season. But really, if you take a closer look, you would see that with 3 games left, 10-6, that's a very good record, and it's a very possible wild card spot for them later on in the season.
Exactly. It's just getting over the Steelers, the Ravens, and the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yes. The next 3 games are going to be very difficult. The Carolina Panthers, Cam Newton, he just had a great game yesterday, exploding against the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
So,
I did see that game, yeah.
That's it's a hard game in Louisiana to win.
So he's going to be kind of on a hot streak.
Yes,
when
exactly.
He comes in.
And Panthers have, they're not going to go to the playoffs this year. So if they can spoil the chances of other teams, I'm sure they're going to do it.
That's their own little victory right there.
The next 3 games are going to be very difficult for the Cleveland Browns.
Speaking of difficulties, the quarterback controversy that's been going on.
Yes.
First Hoyer and Johnny Football, as they
Johnny
like
Manziel.
To call it in Texas A&M.
Yeah. OVO.
What do you think about Hoyer's future and Johnny's future? You think Johnny, the rookie, will play?
I hear a lot of talk. The first thing I do, a lot of people in their lifetime, a lot of people, they read the news, they read the newspaper on local topics. Even, I like to compare my knowledge of sports to a pastor and the knowledge of the Bible. I really, I like to know every fact and stat out there because I don't really just like to say what I feel and what I think. I like to actually know that what I'm saying is actually true.
Right.
I can
true information, the true facts.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people don't know that, and I think Facebook and
social media blows it all out of proportion because everybody will they'll comment on things that are being said.
Right.
But a lot of those times, those people that are commenting on things really don't know exactly what's going on, and you really don't know what's going on in their personal life for them to actually say those things that they feel. Because they could have a horrible life to which they're, not doing well in a job, not doing well in a career or anything like that, and they're just trying to take an anger out basically on this, and they misconstrue it. People get confused, stuff like that. Like someone says something and then they latch on and they go with it.
Sure.
But, Brian Hoyer, he was really good at the beginning of the year. He wasn't, I guess saying really good is an extension on what he really has done.
He didn't have many turnovers.
He hasn't had no turnovers whatsoever. He's very consistent.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the Browns' offense, in running that, you pretty much just have to hand off the ball because of our running game. It's a very strong running game with the two running backs that we have right now, Terrence West and Isaiah Crowell.
Mm-hmm.
If you can hand off the ball and throw nice little 5-10 yard passes for first downs and move the chains, then you will succeed in our offense. But Brian Hoyer, I think he lost track of that.
Mm-hmm.
And defenses pretty much caught on to what we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can stop the run, then the play-action pass really means nothing. And they already know that Brian Hoyer really can't throw downfield, and he's not accurate whatsoever downfield. They're going to stack the box, and they're just going to blitz him, and they're going to pressure him and make him throw interceptions. And that's pretty much what he's done the past 4 or 5 games. He's had 1 touchdown to 8 interceptions.
Wow. Yeah.
And that's not a good stat.
I mean, do you blame the offensive coordinator, Kyle Shanahan, for, instead of the 5-yard passes that Crowell and the running backs could get, compared to those long bombs that they've been constructing in their playbook? Or
that's difficult to say, Mike, because I feel like, we see what he does as far as who he throws to,
mm-hmm.
but the play might be designed for someone else who is downfield.
Okay.
But he just is maybe unaware of where they're going to be at because of the defense, or he's just unaware of if maybe he's just. I think it's a confidence.
So you're saying there could be an option that he just doesn't pick up on,
exactly,
and it could be a part of Kyle's playbook.
Because I think this is where Manziel would shine in Kyle Shanahan's offense.
Yeah.
Because Kyle Shanahan, he used to be with the Washington Redskins with him and his father when they drafted RJ3 and his first year, and he blossomed in that offense because of what he can do and the type of player that he is. And Johnny Manziel is that exact type of player,
mm-hmm.
where he can use his legs to get a first down. That, or you figure Brian Hoyer, who had surgery last year on his knee, so he's not really going to run out of the pocket and throw the ball. But Brian Hoyer, even yesterday in the game, I noticed that he's not setting his feet when he throws the ball. He's throwing off of 1 foot, and you can't do that. This is the NFL. No. This is not a high school game.
Right.
And these are professional players who get paid millions and millions of dollars, and they're watching that, and they're noticing that you're throwing off of 1 foot, and if they see that, they're going to jump off of that ball because they know it's not going to be there. It's not a zip pass like Manziel has. Exactly. Manziel, when he was in Buffalo, and he came in, that when he was throwing that ball, it's fastball.
It had some
every
zing
time.
to
Oh my!
Yeah.
It had a lot of zing to it, and I think Manziel would just flourish under Shanahan's offense because you figure. Okay, I'll give you a situation. Hoyer, he gets the ball. It's a play-action pass. He gets maybe a rusher coming from the right. Instead of maybe running to the left side of the pocket, he looks for a short pass to the running back, and that'll maybe get you maybe 5 yards.
Right.
And if he doesn't really see anything too downfield, Manziel in that same situation, he's going to run to the left. And once he runs to the left, those linebackers that are watching that running back, they're going to chase Manziel and try and tackle him.
Right.
And in that same process, that running back's going to be wide open, and then the receivers downfield are also going to be wide open because those safeties are noticing, and they're going to think, oh, Manziel's running. But really he's not. He's just running out to the outside, and he's going to throw a pass. And that really just surprises the defense every single time because you don't know if he's going to run or not.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's why you're going back to what you're saying with the zinger passes. I think
Brett Favre. He reminds me of the way he throws the ball. Brett Favre, just.
I think some of our receivers weren't even ready for it. That's why there was a couple drop passes because they're used to maybe Brian Hoyer's passes.
Brian Hoyer is a very inaccurate quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He, after the past 4 to 5 weeks, his accuracy and his QB rating has dropped dramatically.
Yeah.
I believe he had one of the highest QB ratings in like week 3, week 4, and now he has like one of the lowest.
Wow. That's pretty significant.
Yeah. And I think he's, not overly confident, but I don't think, I would say he is probably overly confident because he feels like he has nothing to work on.
Right.
But personally, I feel like he needs to personally work on his mechanics.
Yeah.
He's not a starting quarterback in the NFL, not whatsoever.
No.
I feel like he's a backup.
A glorified backup.
Yes.
Even though.
And where he played in the Big Ten, Michigan State, which is a really good, conference.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not really known for quarterbacks. You don't get a lot of quarterbacks coming out of the Big Ten.
No.
It's more, and Manziel coming out of the SEC, it's a lot more difficult. It's a lot more fast-paced, there's faster players, there's harder teams to go up against.
Right.
He's not going up against Purdue and, Nebraska. I mean, Nebraska now, they're not too bad, but...
Alabama,
Alabama. He's going up against Alabama. He's going up against, Florida. Just the hardest teams that you can go up against, really,
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, South Carolina, even, Jadeveon Clowney. He was a beast in college.
Yeah.
And, he was really good. I would rather have Connor Shaw as my starting quarterback than Brian Hoyer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So do you think that Hoyer will start next week then, or?
No, I feel like tomorrow morning, Tuesday morning, Hoyer will be a backup quarterback again. And he'll be a backup quarterback till he retires from the NFL.
Oh, well, okay.
Because he will not start next year anywhere.
I've heard rumors that
Unless there's an injury.
He wishes to leave the Browns, or I guess he has no intent to sign. Did you hear anything about this?
I don't think it's more of an intent to sign. I think it's more of like, we're not going to offer him anything. If he wants to back up next year, but even then, though, he wants to start. But I think he needs to realize that no matter what team he goes to, he's not going to start.
You're saying that even for next year, he realizes that the spotlight's for
Johnny
Manziel.
I would rather have Connor Shaw as our backup.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe draft somebody in the 5th or 6th round and have them as our third string. Or even then, maybe bring in like a veteran presence who knows his place as a backup instead of wanting to be the starter. Maybe like a Matt Hasselbeck or something like that.
Give a little bit of guidance to Johnny.
Exactly. Because I feel like Hoyer doesn't really like Johnny because he feels threatened by him.
Mm-hmm.
And to which the sense that, which also can be another downfall of Johnny this year is because he's not really seeking any kind of guidance. It could probably be similar to Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. Once Green Bay signed Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre was like, why are you getting this guy?
Right.
I'm the man, and I should be the guy. I'm not going to help this guy take my job.
Right.
So, Brian Hoyer, he's probably not helping Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel probably asks him a question, and Hoyer probably gives him, like, the runaround kind of deal. You know what I mean? He's probably like, oh, yeah, read the book.
I see him on the bench both together, with the offensive coordinator, but, I
don't see any connection with him and Hoyer whatsoever. They don't seem like they would be friends whatsoever.
No.
Well, I like Manziel. I want to see Manziel. I want to see what he can do. He won the Heisman Trophy for, he didn't win it by just, doing little chuck passes and little short 5-yard passes.
Now, do you think that, let's start even this year, along with, if Manziel takes over, will they take over the division, and make the playoffs?
I'm hoping.
Or do you think next year is their year for the playoffs?
Well, Steelers won yesterday. Ravens won yesterday. Bengals, they lost against the Steelers. We still have a game against Cincinnati, and we still have a game against Baltimore. And I think we can probably win those. If we can win the next 3 out, then I don't see why we can't be in the playoffs.
I would agree with you.
And I really believe that players in the locker room, they want Manziel.
I think so too.
Because you can't have reports of Brian Hoyer leaving,
right,
and then still think that he's confident about winning this
exactly.
Because if you're going to get fired from a job next week, are you really going to put your best effort this week?
No,
You're probably going to show up late, and you're probably not really going to care.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, going into that, how do you feel about LeBron's new job with the Cavs?
Oh.
How do you feel that
Cavs
they've been doing this season?
Cavs are golden. I really I like them. I think they're going to be great. I think we're maybe 1 or 2 players away from really having a solid team.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need maybe a big man. It's more of a defensive thing. You know, the Western Conference, a lot of those teams are a lot better than the Eastern Conference.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know if it's more of a point thing or more of a defensive thing. But I think, you know, the Cavs will probably they'll definitely be the top three seed in the Eastern Conference, to which they'll probably play maybe like a let's see. I could see my top teams. I know Toronto's having a real good start, but they might fade off a little bit. You know, Indiana, I don't see them anywhere. New York, they could probably maybe be a top 5, top 6. I think our real threats this year are Washington and maybe Miami.
Yeah,
I think
Miami.
I think Miami will be a big surprise later on. I mean, Chris Bosh is really good. Dwayne Wade still has it. You know, he probably has maybe 1 or 2 more years. I could see that's probably why LeBron left, because Dwayne Wade really. I mean, he didn't play a lot of games last year
with the knee injuries and things like that.
He's you know, he's hurt. You know, Chris Bosh is really good, but I feel like Kevin Love is better.
Now, do you think, speaking of Kevin Love, do you think he will resign?
Kevin Love, I feel like he will resign, because you got to look at his options. I mean, he could probably maybe go to Dallas. Houston, I don't think he's going to go to. He could go to Houston, play with Dwight Howard.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of a little bit of a...
I mean, it would be a power team. Yeah. But Chris Bosh also could have went to Houston, which I think Houston would have been amazing with Chris Bosh and, you know, his name escapes me, shooting guard.
Harden?
Yeah, Harden. James Harden. You know, I think they would have been a great team. James Harden, Kevin Love, or not Kevin Love, but Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh and Dwight Howard. That would have been an amazing team. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it just didn't work out too well for him. I mean, Kevin Love, he's from L.A. Well, he's not really from L.A. I mean, he went to college. I think he's from Oregon. But, you know, he can go to the Lakers, but the Lakers suck.
Yeah.
Clippers, I mean, they got Blake Griffin. You got to look at all the other options. I mean, a lot of teams are already set. I mean, do you really want to go to a team that is kind of there and rebuilding, or would you rather stay with, you know, 2 of the top 6 players in the NBA?
If I was him, I would stay with the number 1 player.
Oh, yeah, and plus, you know, once they sign that new TV contract, they're going to be able to
that's true,
give him a multi-year deal. 5-6 years for a lot of money.
So, kind of in closing, do you think that the Cavs... You said the Cavs would make about the 3rd seed, but do you think they will advance to the championship?
You know, I really do believe that they will. I see the Cavs in the finals.
Yeah.
They're only getting better,
mm-hmm.
and by next year, towards playoffs, they're gonna be a lot tighter. The chemistry is gonna be a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
I really feel like, you know, I keep telling, I have a pick that I feel like they're going to sign Rashard Lewis.
Okay.
Who was released by Dallas a couple months ago before the season started because he had to get surgery. Mm-hmm. But he'll be back from surgery around January. And he did great last year in the playoffs for Miami.
He did.
I think they're going to sign him.
He was on a streak, yeah.
I think they might sign Rashard Lewis.
And that would be like the missing piece.
And Ray Lewis, you know, or not Ray Lewis, but Ray Allen. He hasn't retired yet.
They can always pick him up before the playoffs.
I think that's what he's going to try and do.
Maybe
for a late playoff push.
All-Star game, maybe break even, do you think? Or
maybe even before that.
Okay.
Because, you know, Ray Allen's getting up there. He doesn't want to play a full season.
No,
and
I don't think so.
He's been playing for so many years. He knows what his job is. He knows what he has to do. And to have Ray Allen come off the bench or anything like that and shoot, you know, just threes or even pass the ball, like...
Do you think he could help even Kyrie and let's say even Dion maybe?
I would say more Dion than Kyrie. I think Kyrie he's good. He's golden.
He's already good set to go.
He was the best player. He was the best player on the team before LeBron came.
Yeah.
And you know, he still might be the best player on the team.
Yeah.
Kyrie he's only what 21, 22.
Yeah.
He's he's going to be a best point guard probably for the next 6-7 years. Him and John Wall.
So who do you? My final statement here. Who do you think will win a championship first? I know it's a pretty broad and controversial topic here in Cleveland, but do you think the Cavs or the Browns?
You know,
the Indians might be in the. I mean, the Indians are in there too, but
the Indians are far from it because they don't want to spend the money.
Right.
You know, Dan Gilbert finally realized, hey, I got to spend money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to spend money, and that's what he did by getting LeBron back and Kevin Love.
Right.
He's spending money because you got to spend money to make money. And, you know, he realized that. And Jimmy Haslam with the Browns.
Spending money as well.
He's spending money because, you know, you got to spend money to make money.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as the Indians, you know, they don't want to spend money.
No.
They just want to build from the bottom to the top. You know, get players from minor leagues, deals, and maybe veterans who are on their last 2-3 seasons.
They get to the top. The farm team get to the top.
Yeah.
It seems they get rid of them. Don't you
Indians,
agree?
you know, give them their due. They have, you know, some of the best minor league teams.
Mm-hmm.
Like usually their minor league teams usually win championships and all that, and they have a lot of good minor league players. But you know, you gotta at least spend a couple bucks on a couple people. I think they really messed up by signing Nick Swisher.
Yeah,
that was a horrible deal. That will backfire. Because I mean, you got to think. You know, a couple years ago, what was it, 2007, 2008? We were in the playoffs, and we had a stellar cast with CC and Cliff Lee and Fosto
and they got the big bucks.
Yeah, we were stacked.
New York and Philly.
Yeah, exactly. They took our players. You know, I feel like Cliff Lee will be back though.
Back to Cleveland?
Yeah, with the Indians.
Okay.
He has a huge contract though, so they're going to need to restructure that.
That would be good if he did.
Yeah, that could be a later trade coming.
After they get big, make the big contract, then they come back like Jim Thome did.
Yep. But you know, I gotta say Cavs.
Cavs first.
Oh yeah. You gotta think, you know,
more
LeBron,
than one,
I'm not talking 1 championship. I'm not talking 2 championships. I'm not talking 3. I'm talking about 4 or 5. I think
LeBron said.
Oh yeah, I think you know, as long as Kevin Love stays, Kyrie stays. I mean, they're all here for a lot of years, and
they'll keep building on that chemistry.
Do you agree? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As long, you know, that, and you know, my heart, I love the Browns. If any team really wins, I would cry. If we win a championship, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah.
I would just be so happy and thrilled about my team, but. You know, my brain tells me that the Cavs are going to win it first.
Well, we heard it here first. Well, as always, Dave, I appreciate the interview.
Oh, yeah, always.
It's good to have some good insight, good information on some sports teams in Cleveland.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to come by.
Yes,
the true facts.
Yes, it is. You know, a lot of people like sugarcoat it. That or they feel like they know what they're talking about. Chris Smith, Ryan Losher. But you know, some people. You just got to read more into what's going on.
Exactly.
And not really just
to actually get facts, get the information, and that's what you provided me with today, and I really do appreciate it.
Yep.
I'd like to talk with you again sometime soon, if that's okay with you.
That's all right with me.
Maybe we could see what happens with
have my people contact your people.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Dave.
All right.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.